Good afternoon. It is just after 2:45 on a Monday the 21st of August. 2 weeks left of the school holidays for me, which is great, as it gives me time to finish the first draft of the book that I'm writing, and also finish off the Heavensward main story quest. In yesterday's episode, we completed the vault. We watched the somewhat sad demise of Ffxiv, and we are now chasing the Archbishop and his Heavensward cronies to Azizlar. The trouble is, we don't know where Azizlar is, and we don't really know where people have gone. So, we've headed out to the Sea of Clouds, and we've ended up running into some Imperials. We've defended this guy, Lonuvanu, from the Imperials, and we've now followed him to his village, which is called Oxundu, which is on the other side of the map. Farm Camp Cloud Top. See, I can get it right. With wisdom deep as nethers and eyes clear as cloudless blue, Sonuvanu speaks for Zundu. Hearken to his words. So Sonuvanu is the big boss man, the chieftain. And he has got an awesome headdress. Netherlings deliver Lonuvanu from claws of steel-shod fiends and prove nobility. He knows not to ignore zephyr winds, and brings before you with all haste. Soft rains to soothe the heart and sunshine to warm. Gratitude of Sonu, chief of Zundu, is boundless. We are honoured to meet you, Chief Sonu. I am Alfine Levier, and these are my companions, Demajen and Sid. We are come in search of an airship, a flying vessel of the Nethers, which we believe is somewhere in the Cloud Sea. Ah, like to black steel-shod contraption from which you saved Lonuvanu? Alas, no. That ship belongs to the Garlean Empire, an old enemy of ours, though not the enemy we are looking for at present. The men we seek wear armour of purest white, and are led by an old man in white robes. Wait, Lonuvanu hear tell of these Netherlings. You do? Are you certain? As sun rises and falls and returns, we are. Zundu scouts can testify to words of Lonuvanu. Aye. Winds carry purpose of Netherlings to our ears as well. Netherlings seek key to Azizlar. So it needs a key. Now we're getting somewhere. Tell us, Chief Sonu, what exactly is this Azizlar? Beware, Netherlings, for blackest clouds portend greatest danger. Look not into a heart of tempest. There lies ancient birthplace of sin, home of forbidden secrets. To speak more is to call the wind. Text quality is a bit meh on there. But the White Devourer's Isle, where key is kept, deep within bowels of mighty Bismarck it lies, beyond reach of the foolhardy. And beyond ours. Rejoice not in his gluttony, Lonuvanu, for as stone gives way to water, and wind all yields to the white. This he knows, Chief Sonu. Madness of Vundu bodes ill for all Vanu. So Bismarck has eaten the key that is necessary to access Azizlar. Which means the chances are we're going to have to go and get it back from him. Alvina has that familiar look in his eye, which can mean only one thing. Could mean several things, really. So, as this lies home to forbidden secrets, accessible only to the bearer of a key which the Archbishop covets. Much as I would like to believe it's safe within the belly of Bismarck, the Knights of the Heavensward wield primal powers. If we do not slay the whale and claim the key first, they surely will. Oh, look, we've got to go and kill a primal. Quite how we'll go about it is another matter. As was the case in our battle with Leviathan, we are out of our element, and this time we have far fewer allies to call upon. Be that as it may, there's neither comment over there. Our customary approach still holds true. We must begin by learning more about the White. Let us each question the residents of the village, then regroup and share our findings. I'm going to go and question this ether current and see whether it has anything useful to say. Nope, pretty quiet. If Netherlings seek knowledge of the White, then speak with Kuno Valley, foremost keeper of tales. But neglect not to present self with humility and respect. As sun yields to moon and moon to sun, Netherlings must greet Kuno Valley with a bow. Where is he? Oh, he's there. Zephyr winds at your back and sunshine to warm your brow, traveller from below. Kuno Valley, keeper of tales, hears your words, and she remembers. In times long ago, in lands elsewhere, before even the clouds see, the White is one among many. Newborn, he swims beside his many brothers in seas of endless water. But hated the White is, for his brothers are purest black. So great is their contempt, their loathing, that they turn upon him and rend his flesh asunder. And so he falls, only to rise again, for merciful gods raise him to the heavens, and there he is reborn. The White still longs for the sea to which he cannot return, but in rebirth a splinter of the divine is shared, and so he opens his maw from whence came the clouds, and a new sea is born, home to him alone. Content, he gazes below and sees others who are as he, hated and hunted. He weeps, and in his benevolence he raises up isles of earth and guides these people to the cloud sea. Such is the tale of his rebirth and the salvation of the Vanu. May it never be forgot. But this demon which menaces the cloud sea, his rage is that of the Vundu, his hunger that of a wild beast. The isles are his gift to us, yet now he must consume them? Kuno Valley knows no tales like this. So as we've been presented it all the way through Heavensward in terms of its stuff about primals, the actual beings that are summoned are not the same creatures of myth and legend. They are the interpretations of those creatures from the point of view of the beings doing the summoning. So Ravana, for example, and Shiva, they are representations of the mythological creature or deity Ravana, or the impression that Izel had got of Shiva based on her visions. And yeah, so this version of Bismarck is mad, basically. In the stories, Bismarck raised up the islands, and yet now he is eating them. That makes no sense to the Vanu, and this is because of the Vundu who have summoned them. Bum, ba, da, 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 da. So, according to the Vanu, the Sea of Clouds and the Floating Isles were gifts from Bismarck to his people. Gifts which he's taken to eating, yes. Technically within his rights, I suppose, if perhaps a little ungenerous. Gods, eh? But what of you, Alphano? Did you learn anything of value? No, because I'm rubbish. Alas, no. That is, unless you have an interest in the intricacies of Vanu sky fishing. Sky fishing, incidentally, was something that was introduced in this expansion, I believe. Sky fishing? My gods, that's it. Alphano, my boy, kiss you. Wait, what? Huh? We're going to go fish a whale. From what we've observed, Bismarck is a creature of pure instinct, driven primarily by hunger. When wounded by the Imperials, it fled, but not before devouring another island to restore its strength. What I propose is this. We tow a suitably appetising island through the Sea of Clouds, in essence fishing for our flying whale. Once we draw Bismarck out of hiding, we shall use dragon killers to fire grapnels into the beast's hide, and then reel it in close, enabling our resident Icon Slayer to engage it directly. That's us. A bold plan, Master Garland, but an exceedingly dangerous one. Should Demajen fail to subdue the creature, she would almost certainly be eaten, along with the rest of your appetising island. Yeah. Oh, she won't fail, and if anything goes wrong, I'll be at the helm of the Enterprise, ready to tow her out of trouble. I wouldn't entrust a task like this to anyone else. Nor I. I trust you have no objections to me joining you as well? Not at all. The more the merrier. Right then, it seems the boy and I have a lot of work to do if the Enterprise is to be made ready for our fishing trip. Well, you two need to find me some bait. Not just any island, mind. I want a mouthful at most. So this is how we reel in Bismarck for the Bismarck fight. Alphano loves it when a plan comes together. Well, you heard Sid. We need an island to bait the hook. By way of a first step, I propose we speak with Chief Sonu. If the Zundu are as concerned by Bismarck's behaviour as they have given us to believe, they may well be supportive of our efforts to slay him. Yeah, otherwise, it might be a little bit rude. Ah, the Tramontane is upon us. The white feasts, and the Vundu rejoice in his carnage. Hear me, Chief Sonu. This creature which torments you now is not the deity who raised up the floating isles and made a gift of them to you. He is a perversion of your beliefs given form by the Vundu, a false saviour who consumes that which he should rightly safeguard. Yet it need not be this way, Chief Sonu. We have the power to strike down this impostor, but we must beg of you an island to see it done. What's against the Tempest? In vain do they struggle. Yet, who is Sonu to speak of what may be? Perhaps even the Tramontane can turn to the Ponente. I don't know. Very well, Netherlings. When you are ready, tell Zundu Scout what manner of island you require, and they guide you to it. We shall not fail, Chief Sonu. On that you have my word. Come, Demajen, let us see how Sid's preparations are going. Are progressing. Ooh, we've also got some unlock quests. Do stuff and things. There are a lot of entertaining stories to be found. In these unlocked quests. Ooh, I spy another ether current. Right. Oops. Oh, it needs to have the exclamation mark in, interestingly. Yes, yes, yes. Right, where are these designated locations? Miles away. So we're going to go and have a little bit of an explore. Ooh. Just before we do, we should probably kill this thing. That seems really loud for some reason. I'm not entirely sure why. Let's just double check that it's not actually deafening people, because that would be a really crappy stream if it was. But first let's kill it. There we go. That seems really loud for some reason. I'm not entirely sure why. Let's just double check that it's not actually deafening people, because that would be a really crappy stream if it was. No, that seems mostly okay. If there's one thing I've learnt in the last few weeks of streaming, it's that balancing audio is an absolute pain. Ooh. Level 59 from exploring again. I think, what, 3 levels. Not in a row though, because I think we've got level 58 in the dungeon. But we seem to be getting all of our levels through exploration. Right, Sid's down there. In fact, let's talk to Sid first. Bugger off. Nah. No, that's going to knock me out of it, isn't it? Yes, it is. Thought as much. Ah, slowed. Ooh, wow, majorly slowed. Unfortunately, it doesn't last very long. I do quite like these enemies though, they've got really cool horns. Right, let's try that again. Our Guardian friends have furnished us with dragon killers and ammunition, and I've taken the liberty of procuring a Magitech field generator as well. Rest assured, we've chains to spare, every link forged by the manufacturer's master craftsman. If any lingering doubts as to their strength, know that they were originally intended to bind dragons, and were not found wanting. Oh, there's an ether come up there as well. It pleases me to inform you that the Vanu Vanu have agreed to furnish us with an island of our choosing. Then all that remains is to confirm the readiness of the poor buggers will actually be doing the fighting. Let Wedge know when your party is assembled. I probably shouldn't be telling you this, but I don't like this plan. I don't like it one little bit, but I can't help being excited all the same. So tell me, are you ready to hunt the white whale? After you then, all aboard. And that gives us the option of doing the Limitless Blue. Which is the Bismarck fights, and the Bismarck fight isn't that hard, to be honest. I haven't been in a party that's taken more than 3 tries at it, even with a load of new people. So yeah, it's not too bad at all. Lots of enemies around here. Don't particularly want to fight them. But what we do want is gurgle grass, which is a daft name for a type of grass, but that's fantasy games for you. How many do we need? 3. You'll notice that there are plenty of islands that we simply can't access until we get flying. Do, 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 do. Yeah, so like that one down there we can't get to. Not until we can fly in this particular zone. We are very close to the Vundu village. Ooh, ether current. Bum, 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 bum. Oh, we are literally only missing one. And it's all the way over to the southwest. The controller is definitely better for just general moving around and stuff, but I cannot get the hang of it for questing. I have some gurgle grass. Right, so that gives us all but one of the quests. Let's see whereabouts this other ether current is. Oh wow, it's like literally over here somewhere. "73 yards to the northwest." Oh, it's there, it's behind the hut. It's a good job I've got this compass, because I don't think I'd have ever actually seen that. Okay. Trials, Limitless Blue. Bum. So we are getting very close to level 60, where I assume the road to 60 buff will stop working. There's still a lot of Heavensward content left to do though. Just like the 2.x series of patches, there are of course a 3.x series of patches, which goes all the way up to 3.56, I think. There's a lot of content. Which I will go and familiarise myself with at some point, because to be fair, I've pretty much forgotten a lot of it. There are also a lot of sightseeing logs that we can go and do. And all that jazz. In case you're wondering, I'm going to go and kill the Abdellas, which are the leech mobs that are over here. Not just randomly riding around. That's them dead. Technically we can kill the Dalmals as well now. Dalmals are they're basically a type of giraffe. They were very, very common in deserty areas in Final Fantasy XI. In fact, I found a video earlier today, just completely at random. I don't know what I was searching for, but it popped up on my YouTube feed. and it got a comparison of models that are used in FF11 and FF14. I've mentioned several times that there's a lot of reused models, but there's a considerable amount of new textures and detail being put into them as well. These are level 60 hunt mob if I remember correctly. I don't know what it's called. Squonk? Squonk. That rings a bell. Squonk. I was correct. Can't remember what day of the week it is sometimes, but I can remember the name of an enemy that I haven't killed in about 6 months plus. Probably longer than that. Looks like we might be waiting a while for this this duty to pop. Cute little black mandragoras. Centrifugal whistle gives them an evasion boost or something like that. In FF11, Dormals had Healing Breeze, which was an ability that you could learn as a blue mage, and it was a pain in the arse because it healed for a massive chunk. Right, there's nothing else we can do hunt-wise here, so let's go. Let's go just do some random hunts while we wait for this duty to pop. At least we can fly here. So what do we need? Grenades and Archeonis. They're birdie lizard dragon type mob things. There are a few websites out there that you can use to plan your hunt routes if you need one. It'll help remind you where enemies are. You won't need it forever, just long enough. Right, so these are the Grand Archeonis, which are slightly higher level, and I seem to recall there's a reason for coming to Hemlock at some point. Can't remember what it is off the top of my head. But down here you've got the frost grenades. Which are pretty easy to kill because obviously they're only level 50, whereas we are level 59. I've got to admit, I'm really intrigued now as to just how far you can get if you do the whole 1-2. If you do the whole thing with the increased experience from the road to 60 if you literally just do it on one class. I'm kind of intrigued as to just how far you'll get. With the Archaeonis. Incidentally, if anybody was wondering why they have that weird Mandragora symbol over their head, it's because that was what was used in Final Fantasy XII when we first had the hunt. And it's just a little bit of nostalgia, I suppose. Nah. This is a quite annoying debuff. Oop, that's my phone. Hold on. Random people phoning me. What was I doing? Right, so that's the stack of 1-star bills done. That's them gone. What do we need for the 2-star? So we need to go to Morn. In the Stormblood version of these, they actually put a little link in the thing itself to the map, which was quite nice. Because it made it very much easier to teleport around. I'm just blocking that. Yes, consumer lifestyles questionnaire or some such rubbish. Right. While we are waiting for the limitless blue. Oops. Kapow. Just thinking about that 1 to 60 idea though. The only classes I would probably consider doing it on are healers and tanks. because trying to do that just on a DPS would take forever. Which would kind of defeat the point. Well, no, it wouldn't. I mean, you'd still get all of the eastern eyes in the churning mists. I think that's up there somewhere. Man, the duty finder is being a tad slow. I'm not used to this as a tank. Oh. I should moan more, clearly. Oh, I forgot about the music in here. It's kind of weird. Now, I've got to confess, the mechanics of the Bismarck fight are, in some ways, very forgettable. Hello. So there he is. The only way we can get him is if we tether him to us using the cannons. There's also a thing in the middle here, which he'll ram against us and he'll stun us. And we can stop that by having somebody use the Magitech field generator in the middle. Obviously we can't use it as tanks because we'll just get interrupted, but it's usually a healer's job or a ranged DPS. But yeah, you want to be killing the ads. Dragon killers are readied. Right, so once both of them are used, it'll drag him towards us. And you can get onto his back. Just be careful when you're doing that. Somebody's died. Yeah, you can't do any damage from the shore, I believe. You have to. Once he starts to shudder, you want to get off. If you fall off, you cannot get rezzed, I don't believe. Right, he's going to slam again. Anybody who's paying attention can use the generator. Jumping does not help. And again, you want to be careful when getting onto his back. Once his carapace is broken, it will expose a chunk. Right, he's now going to fly away a bit. And he's going to summon two mobs. In the extreme version, I believe that, or at least the level 60 version, they've got different things. You want to avoid the tornadoes, they'll really screw you up. Concentrate on one, then concentrate on the other. There'll also be kind of bubbles that are dropped. Tornadoes knock you up in the air. This is very much a DPS check. These things actually seem to take quite some time to die, but even longer if you manage to have a DPS that doesn't survive until the ads phase. You'll notice over on the right hand side and on the duty list there's an island integrity thing. If that island integrity gets down to 0, then obviously you wipe because the island gets blown up. As always, just be mindful of your surroundings, whichever job you're on, whatever role you're playing. You can't do any damage, you can't tank anything if you're dead. You'll notice that the weather's changed. Bismarck is getting ready to do his ultimate. And here we go. This obviously does more damage based on how long it took you to kill the ads. Right, we'll get some more ads. Slightly more. We also get some suitably mellow music. We've also lost the generator. Not that anybody used it in the first place, but that would have protected us from him slamming against the... Oh shit. And now the whole place becomes very busy. You want to kill the bubbles if you can. Ouch. Right, you don't really want to use the dragon killers until you've got the ads dead. Or nearly dead. You'll notice it when I plunged there, it was invulnerable. You can only hurt it if you're on the dragon's back when an attack starts. If you are on the ball, you can get a level 3 limit break off on its back there. But yeah, you don't want this phase to go on for too long because basically it gets all over the place. No. Not like this, I suppose. Right. This should do it. But yeah, absolute maximum burn here. There we go. Yeah, you just want to absolutely hammer him in those phases, and that will cause him to dissipate. We win. So that guy basically did nothing for the entire fight. And again, you'll notice we get the... oh, this will be the wind crystal. You notice we get the cutscene... oh no, this is the key. We get the cutscene after people have exited the instance rather than before we can exit. Based on feedback from 2.x. And we also get the wind crystal unlocked.
Warrior light, beloved.
We can get some of...
Eidolon, all made. Darkness, light to none known. Hark. Ffxiv, blessing, small.
I think that's a chunk of some previous dialogue mixed in with some new stuff. I think. But we do have the key. Oof, that bump mapping stuff. Oh shit.
So falls the Lord of Mists, as did all others before him.
Oh.
How many times does this make, Warrior of Light? Ah, how much you have grown, far beyond the limits of mere mortals.
She has what we seek.
That she does. The key to Azizla and the secrets of Alag.
Ow.
I see you have regained the blessing of light, albeit at a fraction of its former strength.
Yes, not quite whole yet.
My thanks to you, Ascian. And to you as well, Warrior of Light, for saving us the effort of slaying Bismarck.
See, this would be a really cool effect for Darkside. You know, if it was red rather than purple, it'd be awesome. But no, we get the kind of crappy version instead. Mind you, the crappy version used to be worse at launch. At the launch of Heavensward, it was really big, and you could see it from miles away. They had to tone it down because people were complaining.
Now that the key is within our grasp, the path to the heavens shall at last be laid bare.
What is Sid doing at this point? Sid and Alphino, because aren't they on the airship in front of us? Have they not noticed what's going on? So the key is basically a fancy GPS system. He has made the mistake of showing us which way to go as well. Follow that ship. Huh. I have no idea how to pronounce that particular Asian's name.
By our deeds shall the wrongs of antiquity be righted, and man reclaim the reins of history.
Yeah, what are Sid and Alphino doing? Are they held in the purple bubble of stuff as well? Ooh, I like this cutscene. So this is Aziz's Lair. Forgive me, had I known what was happening, maybe I could have done something to stop them. Alas, Wedge and I were still sealed within the engine room and heard nothing of your struggle until it was over. And now, for all our efforts, the Archbishop holds the very thing we sought to keep him from. But all is not yet lost, for we yet live and we know their destination. Let us give chase and bring an end to their machinations. And that gives us freedom of movement in the Sea of Clouds. Alphino seems determined to put all thoughts of failure aside and turn his mind to the struggles ahead. Though we failed to secure the key, we must not forget that we succeeded in ridding the realm of another primal, and prevented the Vanu's lands from being consumed in doing so. The Zundu, at least, shall be glad of our deeds this day. Let's go and inform Chief Sonu of our victory. Sid and the others will need a moment to tend to the airship, the Enterprise besides. Oh, we don't even need to fly back for this.
Wait, something is amiss.
Spider sense tingling. Ah, shit. Guardians.
Imperial troops. And they have already secured the area.
Reveal yourselves at once!
Yes, this is Regular, who has really cool armour that sadly we can't get. I think he heard us.
And there I was, expecting more beastmen. Who are you?
At least he doesn't know who we are.
I thought Ishgardian's responsible for the disappearance of our scouts, but I see now that I was mistaken.
Oh shit, the Emperor's here.
Just as Huayr observed, the Warrior of Light is wont to appear at the most inopportune times.
The Warrior of Light? She who bested Van Baelsar?
Yep, that's us.
It would seem that the famous hero of Eorzea seeks Azizlar as well. Hardly unexpected. The secrets of the Allagan's power to bind icons to their will could scarcely fail to interest the scions of the Seventh Dawn. You know as well as we what will ensue should these insatiable creatures be allowed to roam free. That their very existence threatens the life of this star. We but disagree on the solution to the problem.
Pretty much, yes. We in the Empire actually have very similar goals.
Genocide has ever been the Empire's favored recourse. And that is why we will continue to oppose your every attempt to claim Eorzea.
You do not hesitate to speak your mind, even when your every word could be your last. Alas, your sentiments betray the narrowness of your view. The fate of Eorzea and its inhabitants is of little concern next to the fate of the world. Tis my solemn charge as Emperor to bring the icons to heel. If this requires the extermination of certain elements, then so be it.
Varys, you're just as nuts. Well, no, you're not as nuts as your son. Your son's off his rocker, but you're very single-minded. Also, why has he got such a tiny retinue?
No, don't! They are not his thralls!
Oh, hey.
Where did that come from?
What do you think?
Take cover!
Where did you get that from?
Your Radiance. We must withdraw.
There's a rather big airship up above us.
We shall meet again, Warrior of Light. On that you have my word.
Do we though? Not do we have his word. Clearly we have his word, but do we meet him again after this? We see him in some cutscenes, but I don't know whether we actually meet him face to face.
So Garlemald too has designs on Azizlar. But why would the Emperor himself elect to lead the expedition?
Good question. There's a lot of content in Azizlar that I never did. I did the dungeons, but I never did the raids. And I do have a suspicion that I may have missed some important plot elements. Lucia, where did you get... Oh, the armour? Well, at least the designers realised that we'd probably want to know the answer to that question. Never in my wildest dreams did I think I would stand less than 20 paces from the Emperor of Garlemald, Varys Zosgalvas in the flesh. I assume the commander that accompanied him must be the legators of whom the Centurion spoke. Forgive me, this is neither the time nor place for such idle speculation. Pray return to the Enterprise at once. It occurs to me that our friends may have run afoul of Imperial forces as well. I have yet to apprise Chief Sonu of all that has occurred, but once I have, we'll rejoin you at the airship. So yeah, there are multiple forces. Ooh, what's going on there? Here they are. So yeah, there's a lot of plot points conjoining here, and I've got to admit, I can't remember why people are searching for Azizlar. I remember quite clearly a lot of the stuff up to the vault, but after that, I do not. Thank the 12 you're alive. When that battleship appeared and fired on the village, we feared the game was up for you in half an hour. What the seven hells happened out there? The Emperor came and said hello? First the Archbishop turns up with an acid in tow, and now the goddamn Emperor pays us a visit. What is this, a procession of notable bastards? Who's next? The Keeper of the Seventh Bloody Gate? That's, who is the Keeper of the Seventh Gate? Google, Google, Google! Boom, boom, boom. This does not tell me. That's a shame. Right. No one so notable, Master Garland. I'm happy to report that the Zundu were overjoyed to learn of Bismarck's demise. Chief Sonu sends his warmest regards, Demajen. There was much talk of westerly winds. Yay. Miraculously, none suffered lasting harm during the raid. It would seem the Zundu were taken entirely unawares and wisely chose to offer no resistance. I sense they have no more to fear from the Empire, for the present at least. Had the Emperor truly been intent on their extermination, Zundu would already have been levelled. Plainly, Varys is only interested in reaching Azizlar. Speaking of which, if you're ready to continue the chase, the Enterprise is as well, shall we? I seem to recall we can't actually enter Azizlar yet. Because of story. A few sound effects mean that they don't have to do any cutscene animations. Lest you wonder, Wedge was able to calculate the heading indicated by the beam of light emitted by the key. If Azizlar lies in that direction, we'll find it. That's because Wedge is clever. The Soleil may have a lead on us, but she's no Enterprise. We'll catch them, you'll see. Even with that big-ass Magitech armour in it. Isn't that Livia's Magitech armour from the Castrum Meridianum. It looks a lot like it.
I did not think that I would ever have occasion to pilot a suit of Magitech armor again. Least of all under these circumstances.
Again? Oh, of course, this is why she wears the headband, isn't it? She's Garlean. Pure blood Garlean.
My full name is Lucia Go Junius, and I was born a citizen of Garlemald.
Oh, she's related to Livia.
Ah, that explains it. When we first met in Ishgard, I very nearly called you Livia.
Livia? Livia
I'd forgotten this.
The tribunus who served under Gaius van Baelsar.
We may have killed your sister.
Aye, she was my sister, though we spent little time together. After our parents were killed in an uprising, we were sent to live in different households, setting us on separate paths.
We never did get to see what Livia looked like, so if as Sid says they look very, very similar, now we've got a pretty decent idea.
Livia felt at home on the battlefield and chose to become a soldier, while I underwent training to become a spy.
Then, Ishgard was...
Yep.
My mission. It was believed that Allagan relics of great worth were stored in the vault, and I was sent to investigate. Though I was given little information at the time, I now suspect I was searching for the key we but recently lost. And then I met Sir Emmerich. 'Twas his usefulness to my mission which prompted me to approach him, but I soon found myself drawn to him for other reasons.
Because you think he's sexy? No.
He too was a prisoner of his past, judged for his heritage as a bastard son of the Archbishop. Yet unlike my sister and I, he did not curse his fate. He simply rose above it. In time, I came to realize that I had found a man worth following, and a new home besides. And when I subsequently confessed all to Sir Emmerich, he was good enough to accept me into his service.
I do not question your loyalty to Sir Emmerich. 'Tis your loyalty to your sister which concerns me.
I have long been of the opinion that those who dwell in the past risk losing sight of their future. My sister fought for her convictions and for those she held dear. So do I. So must we all.
Well, I, for one, am happy to welcome a fellow Garlean to our merry band. Especially one who can make Magitech armor sing.
Chief, we should be getting close.
I keep forgetting about Biggs's voice.
Once we break through those clouds, we'll be right where the light was pointing. Right where Aziz's lair should be.
Hold on, everyone!
I seem to recall this doesn't end well. I have a feeling they crash into the barrier or something. There it is.
Look! I think that's it!
You think? What else is it going to be?
Chief, is that... Allagan? Aye. There's no mistaking their handiwork.
Yes, so this is a massive Allagan structure. Ooh.
What was that?
some sort of barrier.
She won't hold, Chief! She's breaking up!
I've lost the auxiliary propeller!
It's probably where you
It's
left
no
it.
use! We must return to Ishgard and find another way!
God damn it all! Why do the Allagans always have to make everything so bloody complicated?
Indeed. So yes, that was our first attempt at getting to Azizlar, a giant Allagan facility, the purpose of which we will find out in a bit. And we barely finished repairing the damage incurred during our sky fishing trip. On the other hand, any landing you can walk away from, as they say. I can only presume the Soleil passed through the barrier unscathed. That would certainly explain why the Vano called it a key. Did that give us a new title? Imperial Nuisance, yes it did. Alphino appears to be relieved to be standing on solid ground once more. Assuming Sid's correct, and I've no reason to think that he's not, the Vanu's key is required to pass through the barrier protecting Azizlar. But even without it, we must find a way to reach the Isle. I shall have everyone convene at the seat of the Lord Commander, that we might discuss how best to proceed. As before, make yourself known to the guardsman when you arrive and he'll show you in. Just in case you'd forgotten how it works. Oops. That one. Okay. I shall be back in a couple of minutes, just going to stretch my legs. And my back. Okay. Ah, you've returned. Sir Emmerich and the others await you within. Gang's all here.
In summary, the Isle owes its lofty position to the industry of the Allegans, and we can be all but certain that the Archbishop and his cronies are enjoying the view from its top.
I see.
If we are to join them, we will first need to pass through the Isle's etheric barrier, which is, alas, more powerful than most. Powerful enough to make a mess of a perfectly good airship at any rate.
Sid is not happy about that.
As far as I can gather, the barrier mechanism draws ether from the surrounding environment and polarizes its elemental aspect to produce what is, in effect, a wall of lightning.
It seems plain that without the Vanu's key, any attempt to reach the Isle will end in failure.
Nah.
Alas, the key was careless enough to leave without us, and I don't think the Vanu keep a spare.
Master Garland, based on your experience, is there no other way that we might breach the barrier?
Of course there is.
Well, in the past, we've beaten similar barriers by nullifying them with elemental converters. But the one we're up against this time dwarfs aught we've encountered before. The Enterprise simply isn't large enough to bear the requisite amount of crystals.
I'm reminded of the quantity needed to nullify Leviathan's command of the sea. A veritable mountain of crystals that could only be borne by lashing 2 galleons together to form a twin vessel, scarcely able to propel itself, much less fly.
What about that big-ass airship at Camp Cloudtop?
That said, we're not without options. If it isn't feasible to nullify the barrier, we might try piercing it.
How?
We create a ram of condensed ether and mount it on my ship. There's just one problem. I don't have the faintest idea how to build one. It's going to take a true authority in the field, I reckon.
Do we know any of those?
Would that the Archons were still with us.
But yesterday evening, I chanced to find Mistress Tataru in unusually high spirits. Assuming I understood her excited ramblings correctly, she has acquired a clue, pointing to the whereabouts of one such individual.
Oh, yes.
An Archon? Truly?
Ha! Fortune favors the righteous, eh?
Or
well then, let's
coincidence.
not waste any time. While you go and look for our missing friend, I'll work on modifying the Enterprise. Her hull will need reinforcing to bear the punishment, not to mention a mount for the ram. Just you wait, my pretty. By the time I'm finished, you'll be an airship reborn.
They do keep on using that word. I assume Tataru is still at the Forgotten Knight. Yes. I also have not forgotten the fact that there's still a level 58 quest. Welcome back. How goes the mission? Did you manage to catch up with the Archbishop and his cronies? Kinda. We ran into some problems on the way. So, you finally arrived at Alasisla only to find your way barred by some sort of barrier. Typical. But it's not all bad news. I've made progress in search of our friends. Don't worry, Demajen. We'll get to Azislar yet. What have you found, tiny potato? When you fled the victory feast, you used the ancient watercourse beneath the city, right? Well, shortly after things went back to normal in Uldar, I asked Marshal Terrapin to have the tunnel searched. A logical place to look. It was there that you lost contact with Minfilia, Thancred and Ishtola, was it not? Dare I ask what the Marshal found? I don't actually know. Pippin's message just said that there had been a discovery and that we ought to come to the Hall of Flames at our earliest convenience. I do not think what it might be. We shall depart at once. Tataru, let Urianger know to join us in Uldar. He will wish to be present as well. Yes, sir. Oops. Bum, 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 bum. That's a pretty dress. What is it? Eastern Ladies Togi. Pretty indeed. Right, Pippin. We are grateful for your assistance, Marshal Terrapin. Terrapin, even not Terrapin. You served your grace and father both. 'Tis the least I can do to repay you. Forgive me my impatience, Marshal, but your missive mentioned a discovery. Yes, of course. As per your request, I had my men scour the waterways. Almost immediately we encountered a difficulty. An entire section of the tunnel had collapsed. With the mining concern's cooperation, however, we were able to remove the rubble, which yielded the battered bodies of a dozen crystal braves. Go on. Be at ease, Master Alphino. Your friends were not among the deceased. That alone is cause for hope. And then there's this. That is Ystola's wand, yes. I had assumed as much. If I may, Marshal. "'Tis as I did surmise. Judging by the etheric imprint that lingereth yet upon this wand, it hath assuredly been employed in the casting of a most uncommon magic." Namely? The very first man... Oh, sorry, I'll try that again. The very first that man did conceive to traverse great distances, and the ancient precursor to all methods of travel that utilised the life stream. Flow. The spell entaileth the reduction of the corporeal form into its constituent ether, that the caster might enter the life stream and ride its currents thereby. Unlike the teleportation magics of modern times, it requireth not a lengthy incantation. That Ishtola should choose to employ such a spell bespeaketh the need for haste. All of which would suggest she managed to escape. Would that it was so simple. Know that the scholars of Sharlayan forbade the use of this spell, and with good reason. The caster hath but limited control over his course. For every mage who came safe unto his destination, another would be set adrift in the life stream, never to emerge. What? No, you can't mean... Be not downcast, my friends, for there is yet hope. 'Tis like that Ishtola's passage has left traces in the life stream. Could we but follow these from the point at which the magic was invoked, we may yet find her. To the Sildi excavation site, then. Thanks for your aid, Marshal. Do not mention it. I shall pray for Lady Ishtola's safe return. I can't remember where the Sildi excavation site is. Ah, screw it. Visual teleport. Doodaloo doo doo. Bum 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 bum. There's the excavation site. That was where we ended up, right at the closure of 2.55. Evidence of Ishtola's passage will have been made faint by time, but perhaps some few scant traces yet remain to guide our steps. Hopefully. The trail leads to the north and east, and to the bosom of the Heavensward. Are you certain? Aye, there is no mistake. Thither hath Y'shtola journeyed. And yet the Grenadians have reported no sightings. We must take this to mean she is still adrift. If it be so, I do fear for our friend. Contrary to its name, the livestream is more akin to a raging torrent. Linger over long in the midst of this maelstrom, and the ether that forms one's soul shall surely be scattered and never to be reformed. That's a bit of a problem. We have no time to waste. Urianger, pray explore all possible options for reversing the effects of this forbidden magic. Demajen, Tataru, we shall press on to Gridania and petition the Elder Seedseer's aid. Again. It is said that the elementals perceive the life stream. If, as we suspect, Y'shtola is still adrift in its midst, then we may be able to find her. But if we are to appeal to them for assistance, we must needs do so through their chosen, the Pajal. It is imperative, therefore, that we speak with Canisena without delay. I've already requested an audience with the Elder Seedseer. She will receive us in the Lotus Stand presently. We might need to speak with the Conjurer to be admitted. As per usual. Be welcome, my friends, and speak freely. I gather your suit will admit no delay. It will not, my lady. Pray forgive the abrupt nature of our request, but it is a matter of life and death. Blah blah blah, rhubarb, filling in details, rhubarb. I see. As you say, we must needs act swiftly if we are to free Y'shtola from the ungentle pull of the life stream. And as you have surmised, we cannot do this unaided. However,
in requesting the Elemental's assistance to find Y'shtola, you must needs be aware of one difficulty. A difficulty born of the fundamental difference between man and Elemental.
That being?
In perceiving the world around him, man relies upon senses such as sight and sound. For the sake of convenience, he gives names to such things as are near or dear to him. Being formed of pure ether, however, such concepts are foreign to the Elementals. Instead, they perceive by observing the ebb and flow of the energies of life. So profound a division cannot be bridged with simple discourse. The Elementals' voices stir not the air, and thus reach not our ears, while our words are but wind to them. Though we seers can commune with them through feelings, naught that we can impart will serve to aid them in identifying Y'shtola. Nay, they must needs be presented with ether which is akin to hers. If you could but find a family member.
but she's got a sister.
Oh! I know just the person! Y'shtola has a sister who came to live in Gridania. She told me about her once.
Oh, that is most fortunate indeed. Pray, seek this sister out then, and bring her to Evershade. There, we shall petition the Great One's aid in finding your lost companion.
Yes, Ymitra, who is over by Kulu Falls, I believe. Unless they've moved her. If memory serves, Y'shtola's sister's named Ymitra. She's supposed to be a member of the Sons of St. Cunnock. Anyway, she spends most of her time around at Kulu Falls, from what I recall. Let's look for her there. Bum 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 ba-da-dum, ba-da-dum. Ooh, that is entirely the wrong way. There she is. Yes, is this something you require? Lady Ymitra, it is an honour to meet you. My name is Alphen Olivia, and this is Taru Taru. I have the feeling this dialogue changes slightly if you've come to see her before. I think it's for the Summoner questline. Oh, sorry. So you are my sister's comrades in the Science of the Seventh Dawn. When I heard that your people were being pursued, I desperately sought to reach Y'shtola, but all mine efforts were to no avail. Now I know why. A forbidden spell of all things, that she should be so reckless. But what's done is done. I thank you for bringing word to me. Needless to say, I should be glad to help. Though we were born of different mothers, our veins course with the same father's blood. I hope that this will be enough for the elementals. Come, let us make for Evershade at once. Yeah, because the Mikote have got very few men. So different mothers, same father.
Let us begin.
That guy in the background there has got some great tints going on.
Raya O, Arun, if you...
Oops.
Hearken to me, O great ones. Pray give yourselves to the life stream, a drifting soul to find.
Please, Y'shtola. Please come back to us.
There. Now!
Nudie cat girl with judiciously placed light effects. And people. And it's still a burrito.
A room has been readied at the roost. Pray, bear her thither at once. All that remains is to pray, my friends.
Yes, and to hope that she's still her. Oh, you stole her. Just seeing her face again. It's... Oh, I've been so worried. Oh yes. And now we're going to make some clothes. Istola's resting within an inn room. Though she's still unconscious, the signs are positive. The conjurers say she's in sound health and should awaken before long. Isn't that wonderful? Now, while we wait for Istola to wake up, I thought I'd take the opportunity to finish my little surprise for her. It's something I've been working on for a while now, in the hopes that she'd one day return to us. Once for just a couple more items before it's ready. I've already placed orders for these items. Could I ask you to retrieve them for me? One's for them from the Leatherworkers Guild and others from the Conjurers Guild. Speak with Mistress Giva and Brother Isumi-san and they ought to take care of you. Yes, we're going to put the finishing touches to some new clothes. New clothes which are available for purchase on the Mog Station. And I did, because I like this new outfit. And I wore it for a very long time on my main. Right, here's Giva, the Guildmaster of the Leatherworkers Guild. What is it? I'm a busy woman, so be quick about it. If you wish to place an order, speak with Randall. Here to retrieve an order? For Mistress Tataru, you say? You come at a good time, I finished it but moments ago. There's no small coup working it to her specifications, but I did it nonetheless. Payment's already been settled. However, did that girl come by chimerical hide anyway? You need either balls of steel or a bottomless coin purse, and it seemed to me she had neither. Yes, so whatever it is made out of chimera hide. We of course have faced off against a chimera in Cutter's Cry. There's also another chimera in a level 50 trial which you do for part of the Relic Reborn quest line, which of course we haven't done. Greetings, Demajen. I trust you have been well. Is there anything you require of me? Ah, yes, Mistress Tataru's order. As requested, it has been sanctified in the sight of the elementals. I know not what she intends for the staff, but it is a most singular artifact. Even one possessed of my experience would struggle to wield it. So not only has Tataru got a suit of armour, a set of clothing made for Istola, but she's also got her a fancy new staff to use. I can't remember whether this was around the time, no, it must have been earlier, that they decided that conjurers would use two-handed weapons. No, I think it must have been at 50. But yeah, at some point Square Enix made the decision that both Black Mages and, well, Black Mages Thaumaturges and White Mage Conjurers would use two-handed weapons rather than having one-handers and shields. Ah, you're back. You have the items, I hope. Ooh, it's precisely as I requested. A perfect match for the other pieces. Truly, Giva is a master among masters. And the staff completes the surprise. Thank you so much. Tee, I can't wait to see what Istola thinks of the surprise. Lest you wonder, she's doing very well, and the Conjurers have left her in her sister's care. Let's go and pay them a visit, shall we? That old costume wasn't there previously. What's happened to her eyes?
You stole her! I'm so glad you're back!
Oh.
Tataru.
Oh.
You are safe. Thank the 12. Something has changed about you, Alphino. Or mayhap the change is with me. I seem to sense the ether around me more keenly than before.
I am pleased to see you well again. Do you feel strong enough to talk?
Worry not. I am well enough.
Oh.
Tell us then, what befell you after you fled the feast? We were told that there had been a tunnel collapse.
Yep.
That was my doing. I brought the tunnel down that you and Minfidia might escape. At the last moment, I invoked a teleportation magic, in hopes of spiriting Thancred away at least. Needless to say, it did not go quite as planned, and I found myself adrift in the life stream.
The question is then, what happened to Thancred?
The others? Where are they? Did they not escape?
Don't know, you're the first we've found.
They remain unaccounted for. You were the only one we have been able to find. I am truly sorry. It was the Crystal Braves who pursued you that day. My hubris that led to our undoing.
No apologies are necessary, Alphino. You are not to blame for what occurred. Know that were our comrades here, they would commend you for keeping the light of hope alive.
Don't worry. The others are alive and well, I'm sure of it. We just need to find them.
Indeed, Tataru. Let us find our friends and rebuild the Scions.
Ha! There is the Alphino I remember. And I feel much the better for his return. 'Tis time I arose.
Speaking of which...
That reminds me. I have a change of clothes for you. I don't like to boast, but I made them myself. I learned how to weave while we're in Ishgard, you see.
Away with you, boy.
Tataru has apprised me of all that took place in the aftermath of the assassination plot. It would seem I have been away for some while.
Yes, indeed.
Yes, much and more happened during your absence. At present, we seek to follow the Archbishop to Azisla.
And you want for some manner of etheric ram to pierce the floating isle's protective barrier?
Yes.
We do. Might you be able to furnish us with one?
No. But I know somebody who can.
A means to prise open a hole in an Allagan barrier. And one large enough to admit an airship, no less. Nay, I lack the knowledge to devise such a weapon.
Darn.
But I know of one who could. A leading figure in the field of etheric research, and one of the finest scholars ever to grace Sharlayan. Matoya, my former master.
Yep, we're gonna go and find Matoya. In my youth, I had the honour of studying under Matoya. In the field of etheric research, she was without rival. I have no doubt that her knowledge will be of aid to our cause. I was just wondering what that sound effect was. It's the fireworks. The question is, will she share it with us? My master has ever been willful. The gods forbid anyone disagrees with her. When the Garlean Empire first marched upon Eorzea some 15 years ago, the denizens of Sharlayan were summoned back to the motherland. However, Matoya refused to join the exodus. To this day she lives a hermit's life on the fringes of the abandoned city. So it is to the Dravanian hinterlands that we must go, to the place of my birth. Though Alizai and I were born in Sharlayan, our days there were short. We remained only until the exodus, and I have not returned since. Oh, so it's to be a homecoming then. As fine a reason as any to go to Sharlayan, and it would afford us the opportunity to pay my master a visit. I believe you've mistaken our primary objective, Ishtola. At any rate, the journey will take us through largely unknown territory. Let us first return to Ishgard and make our preparations. So if you remember way back in our journey through the Dravanian Forelands, we went to a door in the southwest corner that we couldn't get through, and we will soon be able to. Sharlayan is situated in the Dravanian hinterlands. To get there we must strike west and traverse the breadth of the Dravanian forelands. Make no mistake, it will be a grueling journey. The party shall be comprised of Demajen, Ishtola and myself. Tataru, pray remain in Ishgard and continue the search for our missing friends. Yes, sir. First let us make for Tailfeather. Yes, this bit we have to do a chunk of teleporting. Well, we could technically run it if we really wanted to. I don't really want to. Boop. A long soak in the live stream followed by a long journey. I'd not recommend it to anyone. But rest assured my strength is returning to me. I shall be back to my former self before long. Ooh, finally some new stuff. What's this like in comparison to the weapon I'm already using? A teensy tiny bit better. But not by a fat lot. I believe I'm sufficiently rested. Let us continue west. Once we descend the mountain path, we will arrive at the Dravanian hinterlands. From there it is but a short distance to the city. Be warned that we shall be passing through Nath territory. We must need to be wary of them and the dragons both. It's very dusty. Check out that mountain. Yeah, so this is where we want to go to. Couldn't go there earlier, but now we can. Or at least we will be able to. I think there's a little cutscene first where we open the gate. Oh no, it's already open. Yeah, it wasn't before. So here we are. The Dravanian hinterlands where, of course, we can't fly. We get a little cutscene from Edmont, I believe.
To the Thaliac River, where to the melted snows of Abelathia's spine eventually find their way by means of 1,000 silver streams. Whose waters have long nourished the Dravanian hinterlands, and so provided for a settlement of learned souls from across the northern seas. To the city of Sharlayan, that great seat of knowledge now abandoned by her keepers, they came.
They came. Matoya dwells on the far side of the Thaliac River. Let us search for a crossing. The river is wide and we can't cross it because, again, we can't fly in this area and the bridge has been destroyed. Well, one of the bridges has been destroyed. So we shall go through the process of collecting ether currents as per usual, but we also get to see some Sharlayan architecture. There are some quite difficult fates in this zone. There's also a big ass bubble over there. You find out about that, but it's not part of the main story quest. But that is where Alexander is. But yes, this is a nice fancy city that seems to be overrun with goblins. 148 yards to the north. You'll also notice that there are tiny Ethernet shards, because of course this used to be a city. So they had their own Ethernet. It doesn't work anymore. Bit of a shame. Oops. $132 yards to the east. There are quite a few goblins here. I seem to recall it's the next one's up on one of these somewhere. Huh, is it inside here? Yes, it must be. Shucks. Yeah, it is. Right, we're going to have to go inside. That basically means pissing off a load of goblins. This is where the Aetherites were. There it is. Go on, bugger off. No. Really? You want to fight? Okay. No tossing bombs for you. Oh, it's not over there we want to go. That way. Ha! Dodged. Right, 446 yards to the northwest. I think that's the direction that we want to be going anyway. We want to be heading up towards that settlement. But yes, I really quite like the architecture in this city. You do very much get the impression that it was a prosperous and learned place. I see you. Damselflies. Another Ethernet. Fallen into ruin. Yes, we found our place to cross the river. And we found a small settlement. Where there are some good gobbies. Yeah, we found a place to cross a chunk of the river, but I don't seem to recall the main. It's not how to cross the main bit, which flows under here. The only way that we can cross actually is up here, at this big ass monument. And actually you can get a pretty cool view if you look over the edge. Because actually we are hanging above a ton of other stuff. On these massive kind of stalactital ridges. It's typical fantasy stuff. It's like, would that really work with actual physics? Probably not. Knowledge seeks no man, so says the motto of Charlene engraved upon yonder stone. Its meaning is simple. It falls to us to seek enlightenment. During the 6th Astral Era, at the turn of the 13th century, men from the northern nation of Charlene journeyed across the seas to Eorzea in search of knowledge. Upon arriving at these shores, they established a camp for their scholarly endeavours. Over time, this camp grew into a settlement, and the settlement prospered, and so much so that it came to be counted among Eorzea's great city-states. Alas, those glory days are now but a fading memory. With her keepers lost to her, Charlene has become an empty husk of her former self. Psh! Uplander is mistaken. Charlene has new keepers, is on cusp of new age of glory. What? Uh-oh. Goblins? Goblins? Here to plunder the city? Uplander is mistaken, Muchly. We are not thieves. This place is our home. Not. Your home? When last I looked, it was mine and Alphina's. We were born here. Psh, when Uplanders abandoned city, Uplanders gave up claim. Born here or no, Uplanders are trespassers. Nuh-uh. My friends, please. We did not come to dispute your claim to the land. Our purpose here is peaceful. We desire but to cross the river. But be calm, I beg you, and let us speak like the civilized folk that we are. Surely we can come to a mutual understanding. Psh, if that is truth, then Uplanders are welcome here. Come with Slowfix. Slowfix will show Uplanders' settlement. Nod. And here we have, I call it Idleshire. I think some people call it Idleshire, as in idyllic. Now, just like Revenant's Toll in 2.x, Idleshire was nothing like this upon launch. The launch of the expansion, it was built up over time, and there are a ton of things here, including this unctuous adventurer. Oh, that's the Wondrous Tales unlock. But yeah, it's a lot bigger than what it used to be. All of these buildings were basically not here or ruins. Oops. Do we have many poetics? No, we don't. But we will do by the time we're 60. Here is Heart of Settlement, name of Idleshire. What do we got here? Guests. Greetings to you. I am Alfred Olivier, and may I introduce my companions, Demajen Thornley and Ishtola. We have journeyed far in search of a friend and seek to cross the river. Oh, finding the main bridge collapse, you went looking for a detour and ended up stumbling into Slowfix and his crew. Is that right? Technically, yeah. In terms of the story, in actual fact, we just followed the waymarker. There was a big bridge that we could have gone to cross, but it is, as Midnight Dew here says, collapsed. And the detour takes us up the main road into Idleshire. That is the short of it. Aye, this place, Idleshire. I came expecting a ghost town. Suffice it to say, I'm surprised to find it so alive. Well, with all them precious artefacts lying around, it was only a matter of time before treasure hunters like me moved in. But we weren't the first to arrive, neither. By then, Slowfix and his gobby friends were already settled. At first, gobbies and hunters disliked each other, but understanding came, then friendship. Now gobbies and hunters have joined hands to build a great new nation. Ah, so that is what happened after we Charlians departed. Oh, so you're locals. No hard feelings, I hope. All these nice buildings, but no one to live in them. Felt like a waste, you know. We've been trying to put the place to rights, and things have been going well for the most part, but it ain't all smooth sailing. Not to sound ungrateful, but the Trapshire people left lying around are a bloody nuisance. And then there's the Illuminati harrying us day and night. Slowfix has a bright idea. Uplanders desire mutual understanding, yes. Best way to understanding is helping one another. Help citizens of Idleshire, and Uplanders can be citizens too. Citizens are free to cross river. Well, I'm not aware of a quicker way to reach our destination. Let us assist Slowfix and his people. And by us, you basically mean me. Interesting, so it doesn't actually say... Oh, is it because it's gone into our inventory? Yes. Now if we do that... Yes, there we go. So, Uplanders agree to help. Good. Here is what Slowfix wants Uplanders to do. Many golems prowl Idleshire, get in way of expansion plans. Slowfix wants Uplanders to eliminate golems. Uplanders are Charlian, yes. Charlian should know best way to deal with creatures. So, we need to eliminate the golems. That should be a simple enough affair. The automata were employed as sentinels and by design can be made with a code of command. At the time of Exodus it was noughts and crosses, and I see no reason why it should still not work. Should not still work. Let us divide the task between the three of us, the quicker to be finished with it. Right. Oh, right, so until we've got to here, we can't gain access to the third rank of hunts. Oops. Do I need to be... Does it need to be in... Yes, there we go. Bum, 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 bum. Isn't it Ethernet shard over here. This was just a cliff when it started off. There was no bridge or anything. So there wasn't any buildings around it. Oh, that's interesting. There used to be 2 Ethernet shards. And yeah, none of this stuff used to be here. Tell you who is here though. Rowena. Golems are no more. Wonderful. Now we can resume work to expand settlement. Upland has helped Gobbyflock, earned right to be citizens of Edelshire, but Slowfix must ask another favour. Another favour, you say? Short time ago, dear friend of Slowfix ventured into Illuminati territory. Illuminati and nasty goblins show no mercy even towards Gobbykin. Slowfix fears for friend's life. Please find friend before Illuminati do. I am suddenly taken by a sense of foreboding. Be that as it may, we cannot turn a blind eye. Let us make haste and find Slowfix's friend. You're a good egg, aren't you, Alphino? I think we can probably set our home point here now. And in fact, on that note, what are we up to? 2.5 hours. Yeah, for the moment, I think that will do. It's getting close to tea time. Oh, and I definitely need to go and have another walk around. So, for now, that's part what? 9, I think, of the Heavensward story quest. We're up to level 58 stuff. So we're getting there. But for now, totty bye.